Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a video to put out there some tips and helpful stuff that I do when I go camping because I've learned so much from YouTube that I thought, hey, maybe put something out there to help other people. So this is a camping trip I went on over the summer 2019 at Mongout Pond State Park. I have my full setup. I have my breakfast kit right in front of me in which I just pulled out a Trangia 27. I opted for the two aluminum pots and the one nonstick frying pan. Everything fits and nests nicely in one another. The strap holds everything together. The optional bag is separate, but I like it because it just holds all the pieces from the cord that ties it all together to this plastic piece that protects the frying pan from scratch. The yellow bag holds the spirit burner and the gripper for the pots to move them around while they're hot. The windshield on the bottom fits onto the main body just by slotting the two pieces together. It's pretty simple. And twisting holds it on. I've never had an issue with it tipping over before. The tabs on the top can be flipped up for the up position for the frying pan and down for the pots. Like I said, in the yellow bag, we have the gripper, followed by the spirit burner. It burns denatured alcohol, and it burns quite well, very cleanly, great flame. It has the sealed with an O-ring top lid for transport, as well as that simmer ring I just placed down. The dark piece can be swiped and slid over depending on how much heat you want to produce. It just prevents you from scorching a pot if you need to worry about that. Now I need to go out back to the truck to grab some fuel. Trangia makes a really nice fuel bottle. This one is the 500 milliliter. The plastic body is extra thick. There's a metal collar around the top. You can twist up the locking mechanism and then push down on the plunger to release the fuel. This is the 500 milliliter. They also make a 300 milliliter and a liter bottle. So I use the 500 for the denatured alcohol. You see, just press down, pours right out. Then stop it, tap a few times, and lock it down. Like I said, they also make a liter bottle, and I use that for my Coleman white fuel. So it's a purified form of gasoline, to my knowledge, and I use it for my Coleman dual fuel stove and Coleman dual fuel lantern. With the tabs in the downward position, I'll put in the first pot, pour in some water, and just fill it up to where I think I need it. Right now I'm just making some tea. Usually I make hot water for tea and oatmeal, but today we are going with a breakfast sandwich. I haven't made this in a while, and I'm really looking forward to it. A few other things on the table. I have a Dietz number 80 Blizzard oil lantern. I have a Kaito, Kaito, I believe it's spelled. Simple FM, AM weather band shortwave radio. Has a little solar panel on the top. Kind of a off mosquito repellent citronella candle. I don't think it does much, but I like it for the smell. And I am in a screen tent, so it's kind of ironic. With the Trangia lit, okay, the water's going to begin to boil. It takes about like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Not the fastest. It's definitely not your jet boil, but it's fun to use. I think it's a little bit more dynamic, and it's easier to cook a wider range of stuff. Definitely not a backpacking tool, but it's fun nonetheless when you're going truck camping. I keep my cooler in the back so the animals aren't attracted to any smells. It seals up a little bit better. Grabbing some bacon. I love the Costco bacon. It is fabulous for cooking because you don't have to worry about too much grease. It makes cleanup a whole lot easier. I usually use like 3 full pieces. I break them up in half, just a little bit easier to fit on the Trangia. And you know, with a little music playing, the water boiling, you know, cooking up some bacon, it's a nice, quiet, relaxing moment to me in the morning. And I do this every morning when I go camping. Sometimes I don't have breakfast on the last day when I have to pack up because I need to get out by 11. But it is one of my favorite things. Cooking a good meal in the woods, there is nothing like it. Nothing tastes better than a really good meal. So fast forward a little bit, just stirring around the bacon, so I took that out. Getting some bread ready for the breakfast sandwich. Also on the table, you can see an electric fly swatter. A really, really handy tool. I was in upstate New York on some pond camping, and the flies and whatever bugs from hell were super crazy. So that provided some relief. You can see the egg container right there, super handy, pretty basic from Walmart. You can see what else? The Coleman utensil set with the red handles and the metal tops. Definitely not full tang. One of the knives is becoming a little loose. Love some ice cold milk. I gotta say that too. Some ice cold milk, really great. I use just all vacuum sealed cups. It's such a better drinking experience when everything's cold or everything's hot, and it lasts that way for a long time. That cup is from Amazon. It's called like Real Steel, something like that. Vacuum insulated mug. I use that to keep my tea nice and like nice hot Earl Grey or breakfast tea. Okay, so I think I'm getting ready to. Yes, the water is boiled. I put the bacon on the other pot, so it's not going to melt through the vinyl tabletop. Definitely want to pour the hot water not over your lap, because with the frying pan, it just pours right onto your crotch, and that's not a fun time. Looks like I measured the water pretty accurately. That's good. The aluminum pot kind of cools down quickly, but I'll just leave that on the wood to give it a few more seconds so again it doesn't melt the tabletop. The simmer ring is what you have to put on next, because without it you will make a hot spot on the frying pan and things will fire up really quickly, heat up really quickly in the middle. You kind of have to just toss it on. The flame does project out like, I want to say maybe 6-7 inches, even though it's really invisible. Everything's a little hot inside, so flip up those tabs with the grabber and put the frying pan on top. Underneath the, what do you call this? The napkins, you can see, I think it's like a PVC coated glove. It's also cut, puncture, slash resistant. I like that when I do some batoning of wood. A little extra protection from any accidents, but they also insulate when you have to pick up a hot lid or something or move something quickly. So I always keep those nearby. Getting ready for the eggs. I want to scramble the eggs. It's just easy to whip it up. I do have a paper bowl. Just makes cleanup a little bit easier. I could use the other metal bowl, but I have a thing about dirtying gear. I like to keep everything nice and clean. So 3 eggs going in, and I'll pour in a little bit of half and half. In the top right of the screen on the table, you can see there's these 2 clear bags with white liquid in it. One having milk, the other one having half and half. I kind of stopped using these bags because they're very hard to clean. You'll see that there's this small white cap, so you essentially can only like rinse it out, put some soap in it, shake it around, dump it, rinse it out a bunch of times, and then try to leave it in the sun to help sanitize it a little bit, but it does make it really tricky, and often I find they have a little bit of a smell when they're left out, and you can't quite dry it. I've tried putting compressed air, blowing it out a tiny bit, but I'm switching to these squeeze bottles. These squeeze bottles where you twist the top and you squeeze the liquid out. Originally I wanted these to save space and for the heat to be removed from them rather quickly to chill them down. But now I'm using it for like liquid clothes washing soap, so I can do some laundry when I'm out for longer extended trips. Again, there's nothing like flipping some bacon, getting it all crispy, and cooking in the woods. You know, as many times as you can do this, sometimes you forget an odd thing or two. It happens. But I think we're all set. Whipping up the eggs. I'll add a little half and half in a little bit. And there we go. I'll transfer the bacon over to another dish. And with the eggs, it's pretty much just set it and forget it. I think I opened the simmer ring about I would say maybe halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way to let the heat through. You still have to watch it because it will burn the bacon right in the middle, and I am not a fan of burnt bacon, nor am I of uncooked bacon. So you kind of have to play around. That white paddle is from a rice cooker. I have a few of those laying around, and it's kind of handy. I do have in my breakfast box a smaller spatula that kind of fits in. The box is about like 12 inches long, so I can fit a small spatula in there. Over to the left, you can see the Coleman Camp Kitchen, not the deluxe version. I kind of splurged a little bit and went for that. It's a nice little piece of kit. I put my dual fuel stove on that and I have a platform to do some cooking if I have, say, more people out on the picnic table. I don't have to take up a lot of space with my gear cooking. It's nice to have it off to the side. Behind the Trangia, you can see some banana chips. I like having a nice banana when I go camping, mainly banana chips, with to add a little sweetness in the morning. Yep, just flipping it around. You can tell when it's done, usually when it's all crispy and then the bacon starts getting the oil all white and foaming on the top. To the left in the food box, I'll keep a lot of different things like a big pot to boil water. I'll keep spices, tea bags, dry goods that fit in there. You can see a big roll of paper towel, as well as some tin foil, some dehydrated meals, breakfast scramble. Mountain House breakfast scramble is one of my favorites for the morning. I'll keep some trail mix, some maybe bars, some quick bars to grab if I'm going to go on a day hike, something I can throw in my day pack. That's quick and easy. Alrighty, so in goes the eggs. They are whipped up. They have half and half in them to make it a little bit creamy, a little bit looser. And I've done this once before. Simply just put the eggs in, watch it, don't touch it, and then I can move the whole unit around, the whole Trangia, and see when the bottom starts to solidify a bit. And when it does, I'll take the spatula and begin to push things around a little bit more. So what else is going on? In the top left corner, you can see it is by Ozark Trail, which is Walmart. I have like a privacy tent. I use it to change in because my marmot tent on the right is like a four-person dome, so it doesn't have much room to change, unless you're comfortable just awkwardly squirming around. But that was my first time taking it out. It's really nice. It sets up easy. It's one of their quick up systems, and it's easier to change. It makes changing a lot easier, as well as a luggable loo goes in there for when you have to use the bathroom and don't want to walk through the forest at night. On go the gloves. I'm moving the frying pan around to see if it's solidifying on the bottom. This is a new pair of gloves, so the fingers stick together a little bit. Looks like it's still a little loose, so I'm going to hold off on that. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. My tent is a Marmot Limelight 4-person tent. I put in a Sound Asleep Queen air mattress. A little bit of a glamping trip, but it's car camping, so you can pack it if it fits. It's a battery operated pump, so it blows up easy. No lugging your air mattress over to the bathhouse to go fill it up and dragging it all the way back. Plus, boy, I have not had an air mattress stay inflated. So at night, like before quiet hours, I'll usually jump in there after dinner, throw a little bit more air into the air mattress, pump it up before I go take a shower, just so I don't have this like whee, this like loud whirring noise, high-pitched whirring going off while people are trying to sleep. Being a courteous camper, I think, is what it's all about. You know, just being respectful of other people's, space and privacy, and sound is also really important. So I try to maintain a good neighbor status. So I think the egg is solidifying a little bit more. So I'll probably grab the what do you call it? The rice paddle, and just begin to slowly push things around. I like just keeping the eggs nice and fluffy. So I'll grab that, test it out, maybe pop a little bubble, and push things around. Let the liquid move around a little bit to the other side. You could do some folds, some cuts, and this is just like how I would cook at home, scrambled eggs. I like that they're folded. They're not whipped up. I've seen some videos where they really, really whip up the eggs. So I like these big folds and everything. And once the eggs hit this point where they're really solidifying up, you can really flip and move it around, and this is the point where you watch it and they really finish up quick on you. So just flipping it around. If there's eggs that get stuck to the side, you can actually slide the eggs around, and it'll actually grab the stuff on the sides, and then just peel it right off. There's some stuff that gets stuck, but you just clean that off over at the wash station. So if I didn't mention it before, this is Mongout Pond State Park, a nice park in the Catskill Mountains. No cell phone reception, which is interesting. I did find a little smidge of reception. I put my phone right on the clam, and then I used AirPods to walk around and maintain that connection. Otherwise, I had water view, not waterfront. This was just a trip I just wanted to throw together really quick right before the summer ends and get out there. The weather was pretty great. This was in August, if memory serves, and it was a great time. Solo camping, but that's fine with me. Again, here's the PVC gloves. You can use it to close the simmering. It is very hot. I wouldn't do that normally. When you take it off, the flame is at full power, so you have to drop it in. You get good at kind of dropping it. Sometimes you'll miss it, and it'll catch you off to the side, so you can just push it with the gloves or use the grabber to kind of slide it over. Banana chips at the ready. You do not want to put the final sealing cover on the top while it's hot. You have to let it cool down, because obviously the rubber O-ring will melt, and that will be a mess. That's something you need to replace. So just queuing up the food, neatening everything up. I really like to keep a clean ship, so even when I finish everything, I pack everything away and might just leave like the candle and the radio on the table. Man, I see like a lot of campers just leave tons and tons of junk on their table, but I take pride in maintaining a clean campsite. Too bad I didn't bring cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, bacon, egg, and cheese, one of my favorite ways to start the morning. Very infrequently, but something I enjoy. Some cheese would have been nice. So I'm just flipping the eggs on top, and just about done. It looks really good. Hot bacon and egg sandwich. I could have toasted the bread, put a little butter on the roll. Another step, not a big deal. Take a nice big bite of that, and it is delicious. Very, very nice. Well, guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to eat this sandwich. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. If you're interested in this, I'm looking forward to making more videos about my camping experience, detailing some more gear, some more parks, some camping tips, how-tos, and more. So feel free to subscribe to my channel, and catch you next time. Alrighty. Thanks. Bye-bye.